In an age of superstar stayers where the likes of Bone Crusher, Superimpose and Better Loosen Up ruled, there was a horse that wasn't like anything else we had seen before nor have ever seen since. Hailing from Queensland, trained by a rough and ready, hard-living Vic Rail and piloted by the previously anonymous Cyril Small, the people's champ of the late 80s, Vo Rogue thrilled Melbourne racetracks with the daring tactics used to great effect. Everyone knew what they were going to do, but rarely were they caught.
But that's how he used to win his races. He'd run them off their legs, and by the time he got to the furlong, the clock tower, they were tired chasing him. They used to make a run at him about the clock tower, but by the time they got past that, they were come to the end of their runs, and he was still going as good as ever, and he 9 times out of 10 held them off.
His first raid in Victoria was in 1987, where Vo Rogue was placed in the Debonair and the Group 2 Australian Guineas before winning the Creswick Stakes and the Group 2 Alistair Clark Stakes at Moonee Valley.
Vo Rogue has been in front from the start. Hard ridden is holding Cossack Warrior, Ravenel at bay, and Vo Rogue from barrier to box. Vo Rogue first.
6 months later in the spring, Vo was back. And after running placings in the Fian at Moonee Valley and Royal Show at Caulfield, he headed for Flemington and the first major of the season, the Turnbull Stakes.
It's Vo Rogue and fair sir. Vo Rogue on the inside, hanging on all the way. A great performance.
I think his fitness was starting to give in a little bit, but I think his heart kept him going, you know. I think I can get him a little bit fitter. Because he's only had the 2 6-furlong runs in Brisbane before we brought him down here, and he's only had the 2 runs down here, you know. That's his first time over 10 now. If I give him a couple of short ones and just keep him there, I think he'll be right. I think he needed that to clean his wind out, you know.
But when autumn came, Vo Rogue turned Melbourne racecourses into his personal domain and thrilled the crowds that came to see if he could do it again. And do it he did, again and again. First stop, the Valley, and the Group 1 William Reid Stakes.
Well, Vo Rogue all the way, the Queensland champion.
Then it was Sandown and the CF4.
He's gone for the whip on Vo Rogue, but they're not making any ground on him. 200 to go, Vo Rogue's got it one, he's walked in.
Next Flemington, and he smashed them in the Blamey Stakes.
But you can clap him home again. A brilliant display of speed and power. The Queensland champion, Vo Rogue, has blitzed them. Vo Rogue salutes the judge by 7 lengths to Mon Ami. The winner, number 3, in 1:34, and ladies and gentlemen, that has broken a record that has stood for nearly 50 years.
At Caulfield in the St George, he started 5s on.
And Vo Rogue's going to do it again. You can't beat him no matter what you do. Vo Rogue comes away.
And in the Group 1 Futurity at Caulfield, it was more of the same.
He's done it again. Vo Rogue by a head to campaign king.
In just 39 days, he had won twice at Group 1 and 3 times at Group 2 level, leaving the public in awe of his bold front-running style.
He crushed Bone Crusher, but Dandy Andy happened to be along there on the day, and he put in one of his best runs ever, Dandy Andy. I think prior to that, the closest ever got behind us was 10 lengths.
It took a 100-to-1 outsider, Dandy Andy, to stop the run in the Australian Cup. So when the spring of 1988 arrived, the punters were wondering if the Iron Horse could do it again. After returning in the unsuitable Manikato Stakes and Fian Stakes, Vo headed back to Flemington to defend his Turnbull Stakes crown.
Vo Rogue in front, he's hanging on, he's going to win his 2nd successive Turnbull. Vo Rogue greets the judge.
Back for the autumn of 1989, Rail sets Vo Rogue for the familiar path, the CF4, which he won.
Superimpose taking a little bit of ground off him, but hands and heels, the Queensland champ, too good. Vo Rogue wins it 1.25 lengths.
The Blamey Stakes at Headquarters, which he won.
Vo Rogue, an exhibition gallop, has won by nearly 4 lengths to Marwong.
Then the St George Stakes, which he also won.
It's a walk, trot and canter for Vo Rogue. Here's win number 21.
This time, instead of heading for the Futurity, Rail looked to Flemington and the Australian Cup to see whether they could make amends for 1988.
He's more than 2.5 lengths in front over Superimpose and then Our Poetic Prince.
Not even Super Horses, Our Poetic Prince or Superimpose could deny Vo Rogue.
Vo Rogue scores a great victory from Superimpose 2nd, Our Poetic Prince 3rd.
Vo Rogue ended his career after 83 starts, resulting in 26 wins, 14 seconds and 9 thirds. He started at Group 1 level on 21 occasions, being successful 6 times. His wins in Victoria included 2 Turnbull Stakes, 3 CF4s, the Australian Cup twice, 2 wins in each of the Blamey Stakes and the St George Stakes. He also won the William Reid and the Futurity Stakes in an amazing career.